What's going on, everybody? Super excited to announce another member of the STP 1200 Club, our family over at P's and Q's Pickup, your local junk removal specialist, your one-stop shop when it comes to getting rid of things you don't want or need. We take just about anything, including furniture, appliances, trash, construction debris, and more. We prioritize eco-friendly disposal practices as we sort through everything in order to keep as much out of the landfill as possible. But yeah, we recycle and donate what we can and properly dispose of the rest. We offer volume-based, flexible pricing options and can do anything from a single item to a full property clean out. Give us a call or shoot us a message at 615-995-9881 to schedule your free, no obligation estimate today. Huge shout out to the team at P's and Q's Pickup, Matthew, Pookie, and Haley. We greatly appreciate y'all. Super excited to have y'all as members of the 1200 Club. Y'all be sure to stay tuned for some great content from these folks. Their social media game's already on point, but excited to have them in studio utilizing the benefits of the 1200 Club. Huge shout out again to P's and Q's Pickup. Be sure to check them out. Just Google P's and Q's Pickup and you will find the best junk removal specialist here in Middle Tennessee.
Hey, my name is Brian Nell. I'm a mortgage loan officer with Primis Mortgage. I want to tell you that I absolutely love being a member of the Spread the Positive Network. It's such a great mission and helps bring so much positivity to our community. It's truly be a pleasure a part of what they do. There are a lot of ways to navigate financing a home, and in markets like this, having the advice of a trusted local professional is key to making sure you get the right advice for your specific circumstances. Whether you're interested in the purchase of a new home, second home, or have a need for a refinance, I'd love to earn your trust. If I can help you nail your mortgage, call me at 615-243-3976 or visit nailyourmortgage.com.
Primis Mortgage is a subsidiary of Primis Bank, a member FDIC, equal housing opportunity. As always, all loans are subject to approval. Primis Mortgage, NMLS number 1894879.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spread the Positive podcast. I am your host, Trent Denson, founder of Spread the Positive and STP Productions, where our mission is to bring light to what's going right and to showcase and facilitate efforts that are making a positive impact in our local communities and beyond. Be sure to check us out, spreadthepositive.net. And also, if you're looking to get involved with the STP Podcast Network, please reach out and just check out all the amazing shows that are on the network. We continue to grow. We continue to build. Be part of the solution. Be part of what's going right. Welcome to the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Spread the Positive podcast. I'm your host, as always, Trent Denson. Got an awesome show for y'all today. Really special guest. Amazing lady in my life. She has been putting up with my shenanigans for a few months now. And that's a lot, and she's helped me a lot. I'm really excited to introduce y'all to her. I know a lot of folks that are familiar with STP are familiar with her, but without further ado, Miss Pat Honiotes, how are you?
I am fabulous. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
I'm great. Well, me and Pat connected. I feel like I've known you forever, and it's been what? Maybe 3 or 4 months, maybe a few more.
Maybe yeah, I'd say 4 or 5 months. We're good. Yeah.
4 or 5 months tops, but we have done a deep dive on my stuff, and I'm even gonna toot my own horn. I flipped it on you the other day, and kind of coached you up a little.
What?
For the first time in 45 years. Is that true? Yes or no?
Nobody flips me. Nobody.
First time in 45 years.
I'm telling you.
I got her, y'all. I said, listen, you got to press record and trust the Lord. That's what we do around here at Spread the Positive. But yeah, Pat, how I typically like to do it is give the people a backstory. I like to start early passions. I know we've discussed some of our early, memories and stuff like that. So I feel like you'll be comfortable sharing some of your, some of those, I don't even want to label them, but just talk to us about your early life, early passions, and we'll go from there.
They're basically the same now as they were back then. I think I just started really young.
Yeah.
I love helping people. I love getting to the bottom of things so we can just move on.
Yep.
It all started when I was really young, early 50s, okay? I guess that's a little bit early, mid 50s. I had a sister that was born and she was labeled severely mentally retarded. Now, that's not the okay words to use now, but that's the label that we lived with.
Sure.
As a result of that, she took a lot of teasing, just a lot of BS.
Yeah.
All right.
I bet it
And
was a lot worse back then.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and the thing is she couldn't stand up for herself till the day she passed. She couldn't speak.
Oh,
It
wow.
was like baby talk, that kind of thing, but she could feel and she could, all right. And you just don't get by with that on my watch. I mean,
Yeah.
okay.
Same here. Yep.
Yeah. So I started teaching when I was 12 at the YMCA. I was
Wow, at
assistant
12
teacher
years old. Wow.
because they couldn't find anyone to help the teacher teach those kids.
Right.
So that's where it started. It just grew from there. And even in grade school, there was a guy that couldn't read very well, and the kids were making fun of him. And like I said, the hair goes up on the back of my neck for people that can't.
Yeah.
And the teacher wouldn't do anything about it. So I did and got in trouble, which is okay.
Yeah. That's
But-
trouble worth getting in trouble for.
Yeah. And then I started teaching high school, but I taught high school special ed in the 1970,
Wow.
which means, okay.
Yeah.
So it was the first year in that high school for those kids
Mm-hmm.
to be integrated. So they took a lot of, not as much as, anyway, there were a few shenanigans we pulled to get people to realize they're not going to pick on them.
I love that. I
And the
love
w-
that.
And the way that translates now is a lot of entrepreneurs get,
We have special needs.
for
Sorry,
real.
we really do.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
really
that's not
do. And nobody wants to say that or admit it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And so I see a lot of people taking advantage of
Mm-hmm.
just because we're not standing in our own power. So not on my watch, Trent.
I love that. I love that. I think that might be part of our bond that I haven't fully put together, but that's something near and dear to my heart too. I was always that kid
Okay.
that would go sit with those kids,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
we were, middle school, I'd pick the kid that was special to be on the team,
Yep.
like that stuff. And
Yep.
we would, that's just something. I actually got to give credit to one of my best friends. His name's Ryan Rotundo. He actually works for the National Down Syndrome Association now. His
Oh.
sister had Down syndrome,
Okay.
has Down syndrome, and he's a big dude. And I saw him put people in their place quick, and that's something I appreciated and also really kind of took to heart at a young age too, because it's just not okay to do that. But anyway, shouts to you for having that at an early age. I think that's another one of those bonding things we have, is sticking up for the underdog and wanting to
And
be
I didn't
inclusive.
really know that until you told me
Yeah.
this today. All right.
Yeah, that's a new layer.
Yeah.
But that's amazing. And so you overcame a lot coming up. I'm gonna go ahead and put you on the spot a little bit.
No, you can-
You overcame a lot. You're kind of a trailblazer, and I mean, seriously, in your line of work, and
Yeah.
you've go ahead and rattle off some of your certifications and education and all that.
I have a bachelor's degree in special ed.
Okay.
I was one of two people that went through the university to get that degree. We actually kind of wrote the program as we went along.
That's
that was
amazing.
Huge. That was huge fun. right?
Yeah. Where'd you go?
University of Nebraska.
Okay.
Yeah.
You and Travis.
Oh, I know. I keep telling him Nebraska's a great place to be from, but he doesn't seem to appreciate that.
That's hilarious. Shouts to Travis with Auto Shield 360.
Yeah, he loves it. He
That's
loves it.
great. Okay.
So when I got
Nebraska.
that degree, I went to teach at an inner city school. All right.
In
with-
Nebraska?
No,
Oh.
in close to Chicago.
Oh.
So we're talking real inner city stuff,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
That was the first time in my life, Trent, that I had seen and met a black person in person.
Wow.
And it was just back then that, okay?
Yeah.
So I didn't know to be prejudiced. It didn't, because it never was part of my life, right?
That's awesome.
But anyway, it was the first year that my specialty was in that high school, and the counselors there didn't want to work with those kids. So I started my master's degree to do counseling and ended up going into medical hypnoanalysis.
Wow.
Doing that for a while. Just one thing after the other. You know what I mean? It just kept growing and growing. And I usually kind of veered more towards the unusual.
Sure. That's awesome. So what, so you're teaching in Chicago.
Chicago area. Joliet, where the prison was. Everybody knows about the Joliet prison, right?
Okay. Man, that's some serious stuff. And then what was after that?
I got my degree in counseling psych and didn't really go back to teaching after that, except more at the college level. And it just, people were coming in, okay, that just, they marched to the beat of a different drummer. No wonder they were attracted to me, right?
Sure.
And they just needed more than straight up stuff. Okay. They needed more insight into themselves.
Right.
So I started working with some people in sales, realtors, that kind of thing, with the medical hypnosis. And of course, that started all this stuff about the subconscious mind, that kind of thing.
That's awesome.
And then it just grew from there. I was working with someone in a full-time medical hypnoanalysis practice.
Wow.
Actually, I ended up marrying him. I couldn't stand him when I met him, by the way. Could
hilarious.
not stand him.
Nice.
But anyway, we got along after that.
Funny how that works.
I know. And then he passed, and so I opened my own office, and it's just been the same. Absolutely not the same.
Sure.
But the same kind of thing since then.
Got you.
Yeah.
And I know you've been California, Phoenix, all over. Now you're here in Middle Tennessee.
8th state.
8th state. Wow. That's amazing. So 8th state here in Middle Tennessee. You've done coaching at all levels, medical hypnosis, and really helping people get over those hurdles, for lack of a better word.
Well, yeah, and it comes from understanding. Well, you know this one, Trent. You got once you realize, or once you can learn how you're wired, then you make everything else fit you.
Right.
So many times as entrepreneurs, we're trying to fit everybody out. It ain't going to happen, not effectively. But when you get you and how you're wired, then you make everything else fit you, or it doesn't go. It's just like, okay, not my circus, right?
Right. And that's what you're doing now, obviously, with the business from the inside out, becoming a business badass.
Yes, sir.
Got the podcast coming, Business Badass Revolution.
Yes.
Which I'm super honored to be involved with that, and I'm super excited. And you've been here a year, and I'm gonna just say it because I've been familiar with the networking scene here in Murfreesboro for a while, and you have definitely made the rounds, and you've definitely established yourself as like one of us, and
good.
I think that's not an easy feat, first of all, and second of all, just how you've connected with folks has been amazing. I'm gonna encourage people to go check out the first Fourth Friday stream we did. That was when Pat and I first met, and shout out to Jessica, as always, Jessica Bryan. She was like, I can't wait for you to meet this lady, Pat. She's incredible, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do this on the show. I'm like, all right, cool. And sure enough, Pat did a deep dive with another friend of the pod and longtime STP supporter, Dr. Jen Massey. And it's stuff that I've known about Jen, personally. Me and Jen have been very close for a long time, and the way you were able to really connect with her, like straight out the gate on a live stream, and getting her to go to a deep place was really cool. So,
she was ready.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, that's always that's a good segue. Yeah. How do you know when people are ready? Let's just go there.
It sounds like a cop-out answer, Trent, but I just know.
Yeah.
And so now what you've got me doing is going inside and seeing if I can consciously answer that.
Sure.
How do I know when someone's ready?
Because you've told me on multiple occasions that you've turned people away. You've said this isn't for you just yet. Like, you need to kind of, you need to figure some stuff out, X, Y, Z. So it's just something, I guess.
It's something I know, but it's also in their behavior sometimes. So I'll have somebody come in and they're going to want to work with me. And after a couple of sessions, basically what it boils down to is it makes them feel like they're doing something, only they're not really going along with the program. If someone I don't do therapy, okay?
Right.
And sometimes that's what they want more than anything is a therapist.
Man.
Okay?
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and that's just not what I do anymore. I'm old enough that I don't need to be at the, emergency room at 3 a.m. with a client. How do I know? You're going to have me mulling on that question probably for the next couple of days. But here's the thing. I realize with all the I'm 78, okay? So with all the tools I have, I'm thinking a lot of that is just, brought together and with 45 years, there's a little bit of experience there. But the other thing, flat out honest with you, is I listen to Dude.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay? I
love Dude.
I love Dude. I go, yo, Dude, got a minute? And he goes, not this one, Pat, drop it out gently. It's just.
That's great. Shout out to Dude. That's God for people that aren't putting that together. That's great. Oh, man. Yeah, so, and let's just talk about the evolution of the program. Like, how much has it changed over the years, and like, how can people, what can people expect, I guess, or who's like your target demo? That's a lot of different questions, but you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. It started out with individual people. I've done a lot of group work. Okay, so, and what has evolved is the foundation I had was with the intake and that I did with medical hypnosis. And we did a lot of subconscious stuff. I still do, just not as obvious. All right. So it started out with that. And what's been a blessing for me is through the years, I've run into some other mentors and teachers that have improved what I started off with.
There you go.
And then I started integrating that. So my primary coach right now, oh Lord, it's been going on 11 years.
Right.
All right. And
I've taken. Shout him out?
Oh yeah, can I do that?
Yeah,
Jeffrey
absolutely.
Van Dyke.
Yeah.
Yes, he's in California. Does a lot of the work that I do, only on a much higher level, a different level. But yeah, that's my go-to guy. And
why would you say he's at a higher level?
He works with a higher level or maybe a different level of client than I do.
Gotcha.
He works a lot with corporate,
gotcha.
That kind of stuff. And that's just not my gig.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, keep going. You've honed it over the years, gotten better, gotten different coaches. Your coach has really helped you.
I've also picked up other skills.
Got you.
I'm a Reiki master teacher.
Okay.
So I do, I probably used to do a lot more of the woo work, publicly. I still can. I just don't as much.
Sure.
And so there'll be exercises that I'll have my clients do. They're straight woo, whether it's pressure points or, imaginations, that kind of stuff.
Not that woo. It works.
I know. But anyway, some people get a little weirded out when they find
out.
out.
Talk to us about Reiki. How'd you get into that?
How did I get into that? I waited until after my husband passed. And I did that because he was a doctor. And although he kind of got it, that it just wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When I discovered that I could really tune in and help people just on an energetic level, just talking about it right now, Trent, my hands are getting hot.
Right.
Okay. It's just like,
that's
okay.
Cool.
And so you can do some things and not have to touch the person.
Yeah.
Help them with headaches.
I've
help
done it
them
before.
with, it was just another way to help people, but I was good at it.
Yeah.
I got it. I understood it. And just transferring that to people.
Right. Just transferring energy and energy blocks on people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know what the beauty of it is I can teach people to do it for themselves without anything other than just showing them some things.
Wow.
And it gives my clients a tool that they can use for themselves.
Yeah.
I don't want them to always be dependent on me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Reiki, medical hypnosis, business from the inside out, all the things. And you're here now. What are you excited about these days?
I love what I get to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I'm excited about the podcast. I will tell you that it's been a bit of a thorn in my side that I've had to overcome. Well, you called me out the other day.
Mm-hmm. That was
I've
the
had to
flipper.
overcome stuff in order to even walk in here to think about doing it.
Right.
So I love that part of it at the same time as kicking my butt a little bit.
That's
Okay.
usually a good sign, right?
But I love business from the inside out. It gives you, that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
When you get this, when you get your heart, when you get your subconscious mind and learn how to use that to your advantage, it's freaking magic.
Yeah, it really
just is.
It really is. Yeah, as someone that's kind of am I midway, would you say? Midway through the program ish? First quarter of it.
I don't know, because I don't know how long you're going to last. Okay. And do you know what I mean? But yes, I have programs you can do 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. And then it's almost like being, a person's wingman.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know. Let's put it this way. I think I'll be your wingman for a while.
There you go. That sounds awesome. Yeah, but just the stuff I've gotten out of the program already has been amazing. I always go back to that first session we did. Talk to us about that first session and what when people are ready and they've kind of checked all the boxes, you get the green light from Pat. What can people expect in that first session?
That first session is magic.
Yeah.
It is magic. And it was part of my coach, Jeffrey, is responsible for a hunk of that. My teacher in medical hypnoanalysis, Dr. Brian, is part of that. What we do is we actually, through a series of questions, really key in on what your subconscious belief about yourself is that's kicking your butt. Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, we've all got other beliefs, good beliefs, all right? But we've got a subconscious belief about ourselves that at a soul level is untrue. All right, so I'll tell you mine. When we got to mine, it was, I'm a stupid, worthless piece of shit. Okay. Now, I didn't consciously know that, but it was playing in the back of my mind all the time, just like all of us have that. All right. And so you can't do something about that unless you're aware of it.
Sure.
So bringing that to awareness was a big help, because then I could say, dang, I feel stupid right now. Am I stupid here? And I go, whoa, wait a minute. Am I really stupid here, or have I just not learned it? So it's about really keying in on the wound-driven, I call it wound-driven, the subconscious-driven belief about yourself.
Yep.
And once you know what that is you can start turning it around. That first session tells you what that belief is. And by the way, I don't tell you what it is. It comes from you.
Right.
All right. It can give you words to use in your marketing to bring more energetically, brings people or has them stay away if they're not about you. One of the things I love too about it, Trent, is that it shows you your gifts from the experiences that you've had that you didn't necessarily know was a gift.
Right.
It's like me going back. I started working with people when I was 12.
That's insane.
And that's, and look I'm still doing that, but that's all that experience. But that's true for everyone.
Right.
You've got something there. What else did you get out of it? I'm trying to think of it all right now.
That was a lot of it, but that's a lot. I mean, that's pretty much the whole thing, but it is everything at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember exactly how he phrased mine, but it was something to the effect of still being 15 years old.
Oh no, that was not in your wound-driven belief.
Oh, okay.
I don't have your chart here. I can tell you what it was later.
Okay.
The 15 came just because of some things, behaviors you were being 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that like second or third session, I guess then, or I don't know. Anyway,
I think I remember. Look at Trent.
Yeah.
You're acting like you're 15. Come on, what's going on? You
Yeah.
go, well, yeah, okay, yeah. And that was exactly what you do. Well, yo.
oh, I feel attacked. That's so good. People are good at impersonating me. That's funny. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna take it as a compliment.
There you go. There you go. It means we got you, right?
That's it. Well, yeah, and just continuing on the program and just the way that Pat does her program, just from a personal experience, that wound-driven belief, and then you provide affirmations to kind of combat that, right? Isn't that kind of a baseline thing as well?
That's a baseline. You've
Yeah.
got a belief in there that has a file this long that says you're whatever. And what you're doing with the affirmations is making this file over here bigger.
Sure.
Okay. And I will tell you flat out, people hate affirmations. And it's okay. You don't have to like them. We just know that they work.
They definitely work. And I've been slacking. Got to get back on track with that. But yeah, I will say when I was doing them, you can feel a difference.
Yes.
And it's pretty.
Can you name the difference that you felt so that people?
Yeah, I mean, it's just when you write things down repeatedly, consistently every day, and you have to actually take the time to think about writing those things down and what those words are saying, it subconsciously sticks, and it really does make a difference. It helped business-wise. Like the stuff we started with was, it was pretty close to where I was at, but just like needing to be more consistent with it. And
Right.
then it's just started hitting more
Right.
on a financial side. And then outside of that, just confidence and being aware,
Good.
being more, I guess confidence is a lot of it. Being seen is still a thing I'm working on, which is wild because I do this, pretty consistently and have done it for a long time. It's just, really, I don't want to get too far off track, but just really telling the story of the business is something I've really struggled with.
But go back to your I'm going to call you out now, okay?
This might turn into a session. Let's go.
The visibility thing, yes, you're in the public a lot, and but you've got a public persona. We all do, but yours is really good, Trent.
Well, thank you.
Okay, well, except there's whole parts of you that you don't let people see.
Wonder what that is.
Well, we're gonna find out, because when you start bringing them forward, this is okay. I also get stuff, so just know what's happening here. Is when we get you on that track, you're gonna see. Spread the positive. Go.
Let's go.
Because that means you're going to have to be out there more.
Yeah.
Without your hat, by the way.
Man, my hat's fine. Why you got? She's always hating on my hat.
No,
That's
I
my
love your
signature.
hat. I
Yeah.
just want to see you.
I got you. That's fair. That's fair. Well, I appreciate that, and I believe it too. It's just, man, this stuff is so hard. It really is. I think we both struggle with it some. That was kind of how I flipped it a little on you.
A little, but yes, that's what.
I flipped it pretty.
Do you know how many people love that? I told
yeah.
our mutual
Trent
friends
did
were
that?
just rolling in the aisle when I told them.
That's so good. That's even funnier knowing who it is and what they said. Trent did that?
Trent did that? Trent?
Yeah,
Our
I
Trent?
did. Yeah, I got skills, people. All right, let's get into a couple of the signature STP questions. You know the tagline. You're pretty familiar. This whole thing is, bringing light to what's going right, stuff that's working in a crazy world. I always say this. I feel like a broken record. We acknowledge there's a lot of hurt out there. We acknowledge there's a lot of stuff going wrong. But there is a lot of stuff working, and that's what this whole thing is about. So in the eyes of Pat, what is going right in the world?
The people that are showing up genuinely without an agenda. That, and I don't know how many people there are like that. I haven't found a whole lot, but I'm finding more.
Yeah.
But from my way of thinking, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Because then we can just be. You can be in that.
Right.
Okay.
That's beautiful. just being there in your truth, right? Amen. Another question I always like to ask, who is someone in your life that really lives out the mission to spread the positive that's not directly affiliated?
Well, my coach, and doesn't even know about Spread the Positive. Okay.
Yeah.
So Mike, you've met him.
I can see it.
Yeah.
He really does.
Yeah, he's right there. And I have some friends locally. I think you do.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think any of us are 100% because then we would be perfect, and we all know that's not possible.
Right.
So I see people like Katie Coleman, like
Yes.
Jessica Bryan, like Miles Travis, like LaWayne. And that's not saying these people are perfect, but man, they're conscious, they're aware of it.
Yep.
And I can see its impact on our community.
Yeah. You just named like most of the people that are involved with the 1200 Club and other stuff. Yeah. I agree. Those are some great examples. And it's cool. That's what's awesome about this is that I say it all the time, the right people find their way in here.
Sure do.
And that was one thing you said. I'll never forget this, by the way. The first thing you said to me pretty much, or one of the first things you said was that you like see and feel energy and the energy.
Oh God, yeah.
And yeah, can you talk about that? Just a shameless plug for this room.
You know what? I don't mind plugging anything, shameless or not, that's good and spreading the positive,
there
right?
You go.
And I know this is a gift. I can walk into a room and I can read energy. I know what's going on. I can. It gets a little freaky sometimes.
I'm sure.
I walk into one of my clients, old clients from years ago, and her father had passed. And I was like 2 minutes late to her speech and walked in and sat down. And all of a sudden, she just started talking. And she said to me afterwards, she said, the whole atmosphere changed when you walked in.
Wow.
I get that. Sometimes it's a little freaky. I can't tell you exactly what it is. I feel it. I see it. I sense it. And it's definitely here. I can also tell if somebody walks in that really doesn't need to be here.
Right.
Okay. And that's when am I 100%? Pretty darn close.
I'll give it to you. Round it up for sure. Yeah. No, that meant a lot when you said that.
Good.
And yeah, I feel like I'm pretty good at that as well.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, that's definitely a gift and a curse at times, but mainly a gift. And when you said that, I really understood what you meant by that, and it's something I feel as well.
So you were validated.
Yeah,
Kat.
very validated. That's a great way to put it. And
Awesome.
I greatly appreciate that. What else? Can we just talk about that a little more?
Sure.
That's something I think it's another one of like the main baselines since day one of Spread the Positive. I saw a YouTube video about basically the electromagnetic field from your heart puts out like exponentially more energy than your head. So like it really.
See, I don't know the scientific stuff, but I believe you. I just get it,
Basically, your heart has like basically what you're actually feeling physically, like the energy you're feeling physically affects your surroundings.
Absolutely.
Like 10x, like it's a lot more than 10x, but a lot more than like what you're thinking or what you're processing.
Yes.
It's what you're actually feeling is affecting your physical surroundings.
Because the energy goes out.
Right.
Yes.
Can you speak to that a little bit, like what that means to you?
Wow, you got some good questions
I know,
here.
that just kind of came to me.
I love this.
This episode is also brought to you by Ron Young over at Eagle Communications. Eagle Communications provides the tools for companies to be more productive and safer from cyber hackers. We work with over 350 suppliers so we can provide a true solution based on a company's needs. Our services are business phone and voice over IP solutions, internet services, Wi-Fi network, cybersecurity, and any technology that a business requires to operate. Work with a company that has over 35 years of experience. Give us a call at 615-278-9896 to find out how we can help. Huge shout out to Ron for his continued support for the STP network over the years. Grateful to have you as part of the STP 1200 Club, Ron. Thank you so much.
I'll tell you a funny story about it.
Let's do it.
Worked in where there were a bunch of offices in a healing center, and I rented one, right? And one day the director came in and said to me, you know, the people around here are really scared of you. I go, what? I mean, it really did. What?
Yeah.
And he said, that makes no sense to me.
Right.
I said, I feel like I'm like a breath of
Fresh
air,
come
right?
on.
And she said, yeah, if there's a tornado behind it.
Wow, she said that?
She said, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But what I learned there was how much our energy impacts an environment.
Yeah.
Here I am thinking I'm all cool, calm, and collected, and they're going, oh, okay, what's going to happen? She says, well, you just tell people what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But if you're not
Used to that, I guess.
used to that, and a lot of times I don't think we even have to say it. You know, my coach will tell me I have to watch my face. You know,
Yep.
I've learned to keep my mouth shut, but sometimes my face just gives me away. It's
I
just
got a
like,
few people like that in my life. Oh, yeah.
we try.
And myself included, yeah. I
And
can't hold it.
And some people can walk into a room and you get a whoa. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Good or
just
bad.
we're feeling it, we're experiencing it.
Yeah. I think that stuck with me so much. Just like, I'll send it to you. It's like maybe 6-7 minutes just really explaining that with like some visuals, and it's insane. And it's like, it's well documented and
Yes.
all the above, but
Yes.
it's almost like your heart has a bigger brain than your brain or something. That's like,
Well, your heart. Here's the thing: is your heart doesn't have a brain. What gets us into trouble is our brain.
right.
If we just experienced,
Right.
I'm not going to say we don't have to use a brain because I know that's
Yep.
going to come after me.
no.
We need that. All right, but what we do is we shut down experience.
Yeah.
Because there's some stuff we don't want to feel.
Yeah.
And the
There you
thing
go.
is if you're shutting down an emotion, they're all shut down. The door can't be opened and closed at the same time. And that's where we get into that difficulty there.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Well, just a little deep dive real quick on how energy can affect your physical life. But no, I think that's important. And I think what you were kind of saying about a lot of people that are a part of what both of us are doing are aware of that and do. I think that's important just in day-to-day interaction to,
And
be aware of, right?
Yeah, and to go back to that first session, that's where I teach a lot of people about what we just talked about. Because when I can show them the progression and how they felt, they go,
Yeah.
then they really start getting the energy.
Right. Yeah, it's being conscious of the energy you carry is very, very important. That's something when I'm not in the best headspace, I'm not out and about, If I'm feeling good, want to be out and about and want to be with my people, I'm doing that. If I'm not, I'm at home recharging, right? And being aware of that, I think is, and sometimes you gotta, fake it till you make it and stuff like that, and kind of just push through when you're not feeling 100%, but just being,
There's with my kids in high school, I told you about my kids.
Let's go.
Kids, right?
Yeah.
And I clown around a lot with my kids. We learn and
I
we
bet
get
your
to
class
work.
was so fun. I wish I could have been in your class. I bet it was so fun.
Well, and the thing about that is you have to be able to take it as well as give it.
Oh, yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
And every once in a while there would just be one of those days, and I would walk in and say, "Okay, gang, Do not inhale when you're supposed to exhale today. It won't be pretty. We got you, Miss Pat, and they would all settle down to work, and it would just go.
That's so funny.
But the thing is they were picking it up on anyway. The biggest thing about that trend is that when we know it, we have to claim it and deal with it in the way we need to deal with it,
Right.
so we're not messing somebody else up.
That's it. Amen to that. How do you do that? Ooh, how do you do it?
First of all is awareness,
Yep.
okay? And I say that awareness always gives you choice. So I can walk in. Well, when I walked in here today, you said, how you doing? I said, I'm a little cranky.
I'm hot.
I'm hot.
It's
and I'm
humid.
cranky. So I had a choice at that point. I could come in here and be hot and cranky and just let it fly. Or I could come in here and say, and it's cool in here and I'm going to have a lot of fun.
There you go.
And here's what we're going to do.
Yeah, thank you, Jesus, for the AC in here.
Yeah, you get a choice.
Yes,
And
that's
part of
good.
what I help people do is understand that you have a choice, and how do you do it is what you said. Well, that's only one example.
Yeah. Choices.
But doesn't that just give you a sense of empowerment?
Yeah.
I got a choice.
Yeah.
That's
It really is a choice. Every single second is a choice, right?
Now, there's some situations where that's not true.
Okay.
With children, it's not true. They
Okay.
don't always have a choice. With adults, there's time until they know they have a choice, they don't have a choice. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah. And if you don't realize you have and if you've got something in your background that you're not aware of, you don't have a choice about how you respond to it. It's, for example, you'll never see a necklace on me. I've worked on it, don't care that much about necklaces, but I could never figure out why. Just not turtlenecks, not anything. Keep it off my throat, right? Come to find out, when I was born, the umbilical cord was around my neck twice.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, can you imagine? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the little infant didn't know that, but it didn't matter. They just felt that. Okay?
Yeah.
And then it gets reinforced, of course. But once I found out that that's why I couldn't do that, it gave me a choice of, yeah, I know hypnosis. I know that I can learn to wear a necklace. I just don't care.
Got you.
But had
That's
I
interesting.
cared,
That's a choice, though.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And a really fun time was when I was working with a handicapped girl in her, like 22. Mm-hmm. All right. And I was trying to get her to do a birth regression. Okay. And one of the ways we did that was through a tunnel. And she was nonverbal almost, just certain words. And she just was not going to do it. Now you have to understand, at that time I was about 110 pounds, soaking wet, and 5 feet. Right. So what I did was I got on my back, pulled her on top of me, and I went back through the tunnel like this. And then when I came out on the other end, my assistant took her to a room and gave her some hypnosis suggestions and that kind of stuff. And when she came back, she says, oh my God. And what you could see around my neck were 2 red marks all the way around my neck.
Yeah.
That kind of brought the idea home. And see, then I could work with it. So now I don't freak out, but I just don't do with it. So that's how everything that's happened to us is recallable. But the other thing was, when I did that, that was some healing for me.
Oh, yeah. So she was literally like strangling you as you went through.
Well, it was what it did is on my subconscious mind, I was going through a tunnel, having a hard time with this grown person on top of me. Okay, what it did was it triggered the response I had when the cords really were around my head.
Oh my gosh.
Her hands weren't there. That just happened without, because I was.
Her hands weren't there.
No. I had my
wow.
arms around her.
Yeah.
Okay, lower, and no, so she wouldn't claw or anything.
Sure.
No, her hands were not there. That was just the subconscious mind going, okay, here we go again.
Wow. That's wild.
All energy. Okay.
All energy.
One of the things that I work with kids on is I worked with newborn babies that were colicky, that they couldn't get to sleep. And so we did some techniques with those babies around tunnels and that. And within 7 days, they're sleeping like a baby. Pun intended.
Good one. Good one. Nice. That's wild. Man, that's really cool. What else? how can people get in touch with you, and where can people find you, all that?
Well, I'm going to give out my email.
Okay.
It's pathoniotes@gmail.com. That one is really easy.
That is.
On Facebook, it's Pat Honiotes.
Mm-hmm. LinkedIn.
Yes, Pat Honiotes MS, I believe, on LinkedIn.
What's
It's
MS?
Patricia Honiotes, Master of Science. It's
Nice.
a college degree, my master's degree. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
What it could, I wish I would have started out by saying I have a BS in education, an MS in
Science.
in counseling, so it's bullshit, more shit. And when I started working on my PhD, it was piled higher and deeper. I just never quit. Anyway, you're taking all my lines today.
Like a fart in a skillet. I said it.
I didn't hear what you said.
Like a fart in a skillet.
Well, there is that.
Yes.
You know, when you're running around like crazy and not getting anything done.
Very familiar.
You should see the. You should have gotten my email today with fart in a skillet.
I
in
know.
it.
I did.
That's what reminded you, right?
Yeah.
So basically, right now it's on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Yep.
And if you check in, there'll be announcements of classes and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. And you got a workshop coming up?
I do.
Yeah.
It's called Stop the Overwhelm.
Love it.
It is so cool. In an hour and a half, I'm going to teach you 3 techniques that you can begin to use walking out the door that day. I'm not going to tell you that's all there is, but those 3 ones will get you started, that what you can calm down the overwhelm and start relaxing more into the work that you're doing.
I love that. I love that. And that's November 2nd?
It's July 2nd. It was November 2nd.
Oh, that's coming up soon.
That's coming up in a couple of weeks. July 2nd. Yes.
Gotcha. I don't know where I got November. Excuse me.
Maybe
July
it's-
2nd. We'll have this out in time, so
Okay.
we'll have links and stuff in the show notes.
Okay.
And y'all be sure to where is it? What time? All the above.
All right. It is July 2nd. It is on Zoom. As soon as you register, we send you the link. It's going to be an hour and a half long. It's
Okay.
going to be pretty rapid fire. July 2nd from noon until 1:30.
That's awesome. Cool. We will have all that info in the show notes. And be sure to just follow along. Be on the lookout for the Business Badass Revolution podcast. It is dropping mid-July as well. Yeah. And Pat's super excited about that. She might have tried to put it off till September. I won't call her out on that. But we're going to get going in July because I'm the producer.
But I'm not going to call her out on that. She tried to make it until September. Oh, okay, Trent. You know this is war now, right?
Yeah, we got this bond.
I know
we got
we do.
bonds that are really special, and I'm super grateful for you. You've helped me tremendously already, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. And yeah, looking forward to the wingman phase.
Oh, we got it. We got it.
And yeah, just some exciting stuff coming up. This will be out before the next Fourth Fridays too, so be sure to tune in to Fourth Friday. Pat, you'll be here, right?
Yep.
Yep. Pat will be here doing her thing. What is that date?
27th.
The 27th. Someone's prepared. That's what I'm talking about.
So also, if you want to mention this, Trent, and I
Yeah.
know if you don't, you can cut it out,
know.
is at 3:30
Yeah.
before the podcast.
More people were at this.
We do.
The fans of the Fourth Friday.
It is. It's the fans. It's the fans of Spread the Positive
Yeah.
Fourth Friday.
That means a
and
lot.
we meet at Chili's.
Yep.
We have a ball where it's not really networking. It's all of us having a good time and just sharing friendship.
I love that. Well, thank you for starting that. There were definitely more people there.
Oh, I've got a solution to that, though. You just wait till this next one.
Okay. But yeah, fans of Fourth Friday, 3:30 at Chili's across the street, and then come over to the live stream 5:30 when we get rolling over here. But it's gonna be a party. It's gonna be really fun. And yeah, just got some exciting stuff. Can't thank you enough, Pat, for everything. I really, really appreciate you and the work you do. Just a textbook example of what we're about, from the core, from the inside out, if you will. You're really a light in this world, and it's an honor to call you friend and be in your program and have you cracking the whip on me at times.
Well, you know that goes both ways, and I want to say thank you for calling me out last week.
Yeah.
Not many people will do that, so thank you.
Yeah.
Will genuinely, lovingly do it.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I've done this too many times. People, that analysis paralysis or perfectionism stuff, I can tell you with utmost certainty, the first few are rough. You got to just do it, and you got to keep going, and you'll fall in love with it, and it's going to be so fun. People are going to be reaching out. People want to be part of it.
Good.
Your people, as Greg Pease says, shout out to Greg Pease. Stop talking to not your people, and your people will tune in. And even if it's not a massive amount of people, it's your people, and that's important to speak to those people, give life to those people, and that's why we're still doing this crazy show. So, what is it? 6 years later now?
Oh,
that's
wow.
wild. 2018. No, that's not right. 5 years.
Since 2018?
Oh, that's 7 years.
We need to get you some remedial math here, dude.
You know anybody that can help with that? Probably. 7. Man, that's wild. 7 years of this. Yeah. Shout out to podcasting. I'm going to do a shameless plug. If you have anything you're passionate about, you should do a podcast. And that was the line that got me back in 2018. And I cannot speak enough to how much podcasting has changed my life. And for anybody that says it's saturated, you're absolutely wrong. It is anybody in any business, any nonprofit can benefit from doing a podcast, and I will die on that hill. And I'm super pumped for the BBR. That's what I've called it, the Business Badass Revolution Pod. It's going to be awesome. It already is. The episodes we recorded, there's been breakthroughs and really tangible takeaways for folks. I'm kind of rambling, so we'll wrap this one up, Pat. Okay. Love you. Thank you for everything, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
Bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Spread the Positive podcast. For more information about all the things we got going here at Spread the Positive, please check us out, spreadthepositive.net. Get involved with our underwriting, advertising, sponsorship program, start a podcast, or if you just want to support the mission, reach out on spreadthepositive.net or any of our social media handles at Spread the Positive. Look forward to connecting with y'all and giving y'all another fire episode on the next one. Thank you, and we will see you then. Let's go.